What if I told you we'd been missing out on a versatile, valuable natural resource? This resource can be used for a multitude of purposes. Everyday items that you and I are all familiar with, like this plastic water bottle. Now, when I'm done with this bottle and I put it into the landfill, it's in 80 days, this is going to be dirt. It's going to go straight back to nature. On the other hand, this bottle, made with petroleum products, in 1,000 years will still be a bottle. I think the choice is clear there. Another thing I can do with this is I can make a multitude of textiles. I can make cloth as fine as silk. I can make fabric as durable as denim. This towel is made from these fibers. It's soft, just like any other towel. I can make a great quality paper with this product. This is actually the same paper that important documents like the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution are printed on. There's also building materials. I can make bricks and concrete that are 20% lighter, half the cost and twice as durable as standard concrete products. And this also yields a lot of beneficial oils and proteins that can be used in everything from hand soaps to moisturizers to dietary supplements all the way up to animal feed. And it's an amazing substance. And to go even further, it's a plant. It's a cash crop. It's easy to grow. It doesn't take much. A little sun, a little water, it goes. Grows like a weed, actually. It's also sustainable, which means we can grow as much of it as we need right now without affecting the future abilities to grow as much as they need and without doing anything harmful to the environment. So why aren't we using it? What is it? Why aren't we using it? It's industrial hemp. The reason we're not using it is because it's a part of the same plant that produces marijuana. And as of now, federal law says marijuana is illegal. It makes it very difficult to use in places like textile mills and lumber yards and places like that that span all the way across the country. So why it is illegal is a little complicated. And we can change it. Now, it used to be law to grow hemp in the United States. Back in the colonial ages, in the colonies, if you didn't grow hemp, you were fined because hemp was very valuable. It made the fibers that ran our country, our cloth, our ropes, everything that we needed, came from hemp, basically. The oil to burn the lamps at night so we could keep working came from hemp. In the early 1900s, a gentleman named Hearst, who owned a lumber company, saw hemp as a threat to his company, so he started a smear campaign. First thing he did was he changed the name. It wasn't hemp anymore, now it was marijuana. Over the years, it's taken quite a path to get to where it is today. Now, in the 1930s, marijuana was associated with Mexican immigrants, and in the 1930s, jobs were scarce. Anybody from outside was unwelcome. Associating marijuana with them gave us a path to criminalize the marijuana, therefore possibly getting rid of the immigrants. Didn't quite work. So in the 50s, went even further, and it was associated with tendencies for interracial breeding, which in the 1950s was unheard of and illegal in some places. In the 60s and 70s, the media and the government listed marijuana as one of the major contributors to the countercultural revolution and pushed marijuana even deeper into the shadows. This just paved the way for stiffer and stiffer laws against the plant until in the 1980s it was classified as a Class 1 narcotic. It was just as bad as cocaine or heroin. To put it into a little bit more perspective, methamphetamine, crystal meth, is a Class 2 drug. Marijuana is worse than that. Recently, a lot of states had passed new laws. Medical marijuana is okay, even recreational marijuana in some places, which paves the way for the use of the rest of this valuable plant. The DEA was asked to reclassify marijuana and refused. There's many theories as to why they refused, but as it is, they all point back to money. The war on drugs is a several billion-dollar-a-year industry, and if I remove the most prevalent drug in that war, I must greatly reduce my force, which will greatly reduce the money and the equipment and the manpower. They don't want to do that. Let's just keep it there and we can keep the fight. Yeah. So what can we do about this? I mean, it seems like the DEA is hard to get a hold of and hard to talk out of anything. So there's two ways we can attack this. And each of us can do a small part to help. One of the easiest things we can do is visit these guys. Normal. They can be found at www.normal.org. They are the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. They do great things, and on their front page you will find a link called How Can I Help? Make a small donation. Another thing we can do is spread the word. Talk to our friends. Do a little research on the internet. Find out how many ways you can use hemp. For instance, the water bottle. Making this one small change is great for the environment, and it's a step in the right direction. So tell your friends, do some research, and watch your ballots. Vote for marijuana propositions and measures when they are available in your area. Thank you for listening. Hope you appreciate it.